Hello, 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 hello. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday and it's time for another stream. Today, we're going to go back to what we've been working on for the last 2 days, which is the good old PGR, the good old Pumpkin Ghost Rider. We're creating the our own Halloween character right now, combining a pumpkin or like a I guess headless rider where they have like a pumpkin on their head and the Ghost Rider. We're gonna combine these two, mix them together, and create our own version of like a Halloween character. We've been working on that for the last 2 days, which means right now we basically have the body ready. We have the head. Next step would be to add the clothing as well as some accessories. So that's gonna be what we're gonna do today, which means we will, yeah, we're gonna begin with the clothing. I've added, or I started creating the clothing. I had some problems there, but we're now ready to kind of sculpt the clothing. We're gonna create the jacket as well as some gloves, and then maybe even the chain, maybe even some sort of spell that he has in his hand, maybe even the fire around or that's coming out of his neck. We'll see what we can do today to proceed into the next step, which would be tomorrow. We will very, very likely go into shading. Even though we might not be fully done tomorrow, I want to go into shading to, at least go through, I guess, a different step than just sculpting for this character. I want to at least kind of sort of show the final version. I'm probably going to do some more work afterwards off stream, but I at least want to show what it will roughly look like. So we're going to do some materials tomorrow, but not today. Today we're going to go to the clothing and the accessories. So yeah, which means we're going to do that after we are done with our quick sketch. This would of course be the good old first topic that you can see right here, the 30-minute quick sketch, and then we're going to do the sculpting or the creation of the Pumpkin Ghost Rider. Well, it's basically sculpting. Yeah, if you only want to see one of these topics and you see this as a video, there should be timestamps in the description or the timeline, so you can always go to wherever you want to. Yeah, so I would say we're ready to go into the quick sketch. The quick sketch will be pretty interesting today because let's go to Blender. There it is. You can see today's subject, him. Why do I say interesting? Just because I'm not quite sure how much I want to include in the actual sculpt. I guess hard part will probably be the face, which is of course most of the time the problem or the difficult part when you create a character. Just because of his expression, you kind of have to, I guess, add some more detail into the sculpt, which can take a little bit longer now. We'll see how we can fit that all into 30 minutes. We'll see. But yeah, at least we're gonna add the hair, the head, and the neck. Maybe even some clothing, but that'll be just maybe secondary if we can get there. Focuses on his face and the hair. The hair is also asymmetrical, so we need to work a little bit more on that. So we need to kind of work a little bit quicker today. But I think over the last few quick sketches, I've kind of fine-tuned my technique that I use. So maybe we can get a lot done today. We'll see. We'll see. We have the clay strips. We have everything ready. I think we can begin. Let me just pull up my counter. There it is. Okay. Oh, before we go into it, the image has been created, or the original image. This one, the reference, has been made by Crow God. You go to ArtStation. That's his ArtStation profile, Crow God, illustrator. He's been doing some, I guess, recently been doing some splash art for League of Legends, as you can see right here. And then somewhere down here, you can also find the reference that we have today, this one here. There you go. He has very, very cool images, and I thought this one makes it pretty good. Yeah, a pretty good character to sculpt today. It's not too super crazy, you know, in terms of, I guess, the uniqueness of the character necessarily. It's just like a dude with white hair, but I thought it looked very cool because it's so dynamic and so turbulent, I guess you could say. That's why I wanted to do it. And also because the eyes are white, they look like so powerful. Usually what I do for the characters is I always add the normal irises, which of course have like a darker shade. But you know, this one we can actually add some white glowing eyes, which makes a character look very, very powerful. So yeah, that's why I chose this one. I think we're ready to begin. Let's begin, and then we have as much time as possible for the sculpt. Dynamic topologies enabled as far as I see. Yep. So we can begin. Timer's here. Okay. Okay, I thought my webcam was frozen, but that was just me not moving. Okay. There you go. We're ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. Okay. Let's begin. So let's see how well we can get through this. Pulling this over here, not too far. There you go. Yeah, I've worked a little bit. I've fine-tuned my technique when it comes to sculpting faces a little bit, trying to improve it and get a little bit quicker over time. Of course, that doesn't mean that quick equals good, but for these quick sketches, you know, to really have more options in what you want, what you can sculpt, you just, you know, have to kind of optimize, I guess, your workflow. And that doesn't mean that I'm gonna do that for everything I do, but for every like character, for example. But you know, for these, it's quite important. Or at least, you know, if you want to do some more elaborate sculpts, it's important to optimize your workflow. There you go. Pull the nose out, grab this, add the cheekbone, and this is how you can very easily sculpt a skull. There you go. Remove this back here, shape the jaw. You know, oftentimes learning something doesn't necessarily mean to know how it works, but to recall how it works. I guess that's the same, or it's similar at least, but also being able to do it repeatedly and quick, you know, equal is basically, you know, sort of the thing to look out for when somebody, when you want to be good at something. Wait. Quickness, of course, does not always mean that you do it right or that you do it good, but the quicker you are, the more you kind of have learned from the process and you have improved it over time. Welcome back, Palladium. We did finish the Final Fantasy character. There will be a video and some posts on social media about that a little bit later. I will probably finish that after Halloween. That's probably going to be number one, the number one topic, and then afterwards we're going to do, well, it's probably going to be a few more, like it's going to be a more longer term thing, but the first few, I guess, renders, for example, I'll publish pretty soon. There are like a small few things that I want to adjust, but then it's basically done. Small things that don't necessarily need to be on stream, I guess you could say. Welcome back, Pajali. Hope you have enjoyed your Wednesday. Maybe you've been working on some 3D stuff already. Or today. Not already. Pretty late already for you and me. But not too late to do some 3D stuff. Okay. That's the head. Let's adjust the head shape. Perfect. Make it a little bit slimmer, maybe. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I wanna have enough time to really go into the expression. So we have to be a little bit quicker with the rest. But that should be good. Should not. Well, maybe it'll be. Maybe we'll run into some problems here, but I think we can at least nail the expression. There you go. Move it. There you go. How are you doing today? I am doing pretty well. Has been a pretty chill day. Nothing crazy going on. But I don't know why, but for some reason, so I have a new project at work where we have this new presentation, like we have like this pitch we are trying to present, and we're not presenting it to the client just like as a presentation. We're just gonna upload it, and then we'll see if they choose our idea, I guess. That's, I think, how it works. Which means we need to make sure that it looks good and sounds good without us being able to explain it. And my work in that process is basically to, after everyone sort of pasted all their info in the presentation, my job is basically to make it look good, to make it look appealing, I guess. And I don't know why, but for some reason I'm kind of I like doing it right now. I don't know why, but usually it sounds like a pretty boring task, but for some reason I kind of like it. Okay, he's not supposed to smile. I think we need to pull the corner of the mouth lower. Okay. Let's add some eyebrows. There you go. Okay. What do you do for a living? I do graphic design, basically, in an agency. So we have product managers, not project managers that communicate with the client, or the client comes to us, then they communicate with the project manager. Project manager approaches us, or me, and says, hey, this client wants to have this and this and that. And then I do some, you know, depending on what it is, if it's like a new project, for example, or a new what do you call it, like a new campaign, for example, I would create some ideas, some sketches or whatever. I would present them, and then the client would say, hey, I like this one, or like, I don't like either of them, and let's make a few more. And then once the client likes one of them, I can, you know, work on them some more, fine tune them, and then if everything turns out well, they will be, I guess, you know, published either via print or via like the internet, for example, some digital screens, either digitally or as like print, whatever. I usually do more. I'm basically the person that's more, I guess, responsible for all the video stuff. So if there's like a video project, somebody wants to have, like, for example, like a social media video or whatever, that's what I would do. I also do normal, I guess you could say, like creative work, like designing, I don't know, like a flyer or whatever. But I mainly do motion design right now, I guess you could say. Welcome back, Hustler. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday. Did Mrs. Eyes come back? Or did you did you think about her again? There you go. Do you ever use Blender for work? I've used it for some internal stuff, but nothing. Well, no, there was one or two external projects that I used it on. More, I guess, secondarily. It wasn't the main, I guess. Oh, it didn't produce the final. Actually, for one, it basically produced the final result. For the other one, it was just like, I guess, supplementary. For one, I created like a beer. What are they called? The beer caps that you can like that have like these, I don't know, zigzags on the edge. The bottle caps. Those I made like a 3D GIF from because the client wanted to have a GIF, or we were supposed to create like GIFs for that client, and one of them was like a rotating 3D bottle cap, and then the other one was where I had to, because for the shooting there was some miscommunication. The ground of after the photo shooting was done, I had to replace the ground of that photo shooting, without, of course, removing the people that have been photographed, or yeah, basically just replacing the ground, which was very adventurous, let's say. Been free today, so I got to sculpt a lot. Oh, that's why you've been pumping out those sculpts. You know, maybe a few more months and then there's nothing to critique anymore. Then you've graduated. Or, I mean, yeah, then it goes to the second semester, doing a half the body or a full body. That's the next step. Then you're gonna be a what are they? Senior? No, what are the other ones? What are all the different levels, I guess, in college called? There are not juniors, right? It's not juniors. Something, I don't know. Freshman? Seymour? No, that's the name, right? Not Seymour. I don't know what they're called. I'm not American. I don't need to know that. Weird names just to be in a university. Welcome back, Zachary. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday too. Maybe you've been doing some more hard surface modeling, working on the car. Have you tried Blender yet? Have you given it a shot? Or are you still hanging on to Maya? He looks like a caveman right now. Let me change that. Nope, that's not gonna happen like this. Let's see. We have 70 minutes. Okay, that should be good enough. I still completely suck at doing hair. Well, that's gonna be the next step then. I don't think I've ever created like a very detailed hair sculpt. I think I've pretty quickly transitioned to particle hair just because I like the look of it. And I think once you know how to use particle hair, you also sort of know how to sculpt hair. Because with sculpting anything, it's not necessarily that you need to know how to sculpt something, but rather what tools you need to use to create the result, the desired result. So yeah, it's not necessarily sculpting that is hard, but knowing how to sculpt the thing that you want to sculpt properly. So it's either that you need to learn anatomy or or once you're gonna know the sculpting basics, you need to learn anatomy or like whatever it is, like nose, hair structure or whatever, you know, just to kind of get better at whatever you want to get better at. Okay, something is weird about this face. I don't know what. This will not look good in the end. I've given up already. No, I'll try to make it look better. Okay, I think the neck is okay. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. We need ears. I think the lips look horrible right now. That's the problem. Yeah, that looks better already. It doesn't look like this. Sophomore, yeah, that's the first one, right? Is that the first one, or is that the... And then you have senior, and then there's more than that, I think. Isn't there a middle sort of stage too? Before senior and sophomore? No, is there like junior? I don't know, I just remember junior high, but that's something different. There's still hope. I'll try. I'll try to recover this one. I think he's too far, the body's too far back. That's better. Yep. Okay, it's getting better. I've regained some hope. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, freshman too. How have you been? You sound a bit tired. Do I? I'm very concentrated right now. Maybe that's why. Maybe I need to get some more sleep. Okay. I'm feeling good, so nothing to worry about. we had a colleague of mine that called in yesterday, or we had like a I guess a meeting yesterday, and then he called in. He was like, he had this like very, very rough sounding voice. Usually, he doesn't have that, and we're like, oh whoa, what happened to you? And like his throat was basically sore, and today it was even worse. But yeah, it kind of sounds like that when you're like, I don't know, maybe hangover and you have like a sore throat. That's kind of what it sounded like. Super bassy, super like ruffled. Is that a word? There you go. We have, wait, 12 minutes? Okay. We still need to do with the hair. So let's not waste any time. Let's activate phone physics only first. Let's do a little bit more work on the ears, and then let's go to the hair. I want to block out the hair first because I don't want to have this dude have a perfect face but then no hair. I think that'll look kind of weird. I mean, it kind of looks like an avatar then maybe, but that's not what I was going for here. So let's get into that first. I already started sculpting some of the clothing. Well, I've only really blocked out the clothing for the pumpkin dude. I've added, yeah, I've just made a copy of the sculpt and then just layered on top of the original one, just added some more volume basically. And yeah, today we can go into the jacket, maybe even add some more details like the spikes or whatever. I had the idea that we can maybe make it look a little bit more unique by doing stuff like ripping the clothing, the leather maybe in some areas, maybe in the back, because I've added the spine that you can see in the back. Maybe we can kind of rip it open in the back so you can see that. I think that could look pretty cool and make it look more scary, more fearsome, more fierce. Okay, the ears are huge. Let's make them smaller. I tend to make them pretty big, and then I also always have to push them back in. There you go. That's definitely better. Still pretty rough. Okay. He has good hearing. Well, that's true. I wonder if that actually makes a difference, whether or not you can hear better. I mean, for animals, it makes like it's true, but I wonder if the small difference in ear size actually makes a difference when you're sort of measuring hearing for different people. I would say it's too minuscule or too small, the difference, to really hear it or to really measure it, but there's probably a small difference. Okay, 10 minutes, perfect. Okay, let's save it. Tomorrow's quick sketch day 270. Soon we're at 300. Only 30 days left, only 1 month to 69. Do handcuffs for your ear. You hear a bit better. Yeah, I think that's actually something that I tried before. It actually works. Which is pretty interesting. Yeah, you know, for animals, you might say like, oh, well, these animals can hear better, but they have like huge ears then, you know, and you can't really... The difference between one animal and the other might be like a huge difference in ear size. But usually that's not really the case for humans. I don't think you can really hear the difference or measure the difference necessarily, because the difference is too small. Why does it look so weird? I think the lips are too puffy. Well, let's go to the hair first. You know what? No, we're gonna go to the face first. I want to focus on the face. God, those ears look horrible. He's been burned by the lightning, okay? That's why his ears look so horrible. You can hear your PC fans. Basically superpowers. Could be another 5-minute life hack. You know, these videos on YouTube. What is it, like 10 life hacks to boost your effectivity, or 10 life hacks to cook better, or 10 cooking life hacks, 10 life hacks to, no, 10 body hacks to improve your, I don't know, body's performance. Use your hands and make cups around your ears to hear better. Or I think what also works is when you make a circle with your hand and then you look through it. If you can only see basically what's in the circle, you can see, I think you can see clearer. I've tried that before. I don't know if it's true, but it kind of felt like it is. So when you, because then your brain can focus better on that spot. I don't know if it's actually true, but it felt like it is. Maybe it was just, maybe it was just placebo, but maybe not. That's what I did. Sometimes I was kind of pretending as when I was younger to kind of have like a like binoculars with my hand, just doing this and focusing on something. I'm telling you, it works. Or maybe I have just the insane eye vision that it just doesn't matter if I do it or I don't. I just see everything clear, no matter how far away it is. You trick your brain into ignoring all the other stimulus. Yeah. Is this Danny Phantom? Maybe. Welcome back, Lilu. This is Danny Thunder, his brother. His what is it? His cousin. He's just he's visiting him every once in a while. That's why you don't see him on the show. Okay, he looks worse and worse the more I work on it. Pressure is not good for good results. Learn from me. Don't pressure yourself. Okay. Eyes are always the worst, because first of all I have to carve them out, and then I have to actually detail them, which just takes so long, because they're so fine and they have a very, very specific shape, which is sometimes pretty hard to really pull off. And today's one of those days. They just don't look right now. Especially with the rough resolution that we have here. It's even worse. Okay, lips. Let's fix those. We have 4 minutes. I think this is going to be a scope that will take a little bit longer than 30 minutes. I'll allow it just this once. Just once this week. Only once a week. Pretty much how a person that loses a sense like hearing or sight, they enhance the others. I wonder if that is just because your brain can focus on the others more, or whether it's more because you need other senses more. Basically, yeah, I guess that it's the same. Like because you don't have one anymore, you can focus more brain power maybe on the others. I guess. Sounds right to me, maybe. There you go. Smooth it. Okay, the bottom looks horrible. I don't really know what the expression would look like. Hold on. I have my good old mirror here so I can look at myself. Okay, I got it. Infamous. Well, welcome back, Kale. What is that game called again? I think that's what you mean, the dude. The dude that can control different powers. Do you mean that one? I don't know what it's called though. Wasn't it like, yeah, Infamous, right? Something like that. No, this is just some, I think like a D&D sketch, as far as I remember. Or no, it's from some game, like a concept art, I think. I don't know which one though. I think it was like Crypt of the Gods. Okay, it kind of looks like that. It kind of looks very stiff, but better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, the corner of the mouth looks weird. That's it is. There you go. For smoothing, you just keep the smooth brush at 100%, just tap it a few times. I don't know what the strength for the smooth brush is right now. I think it's 0.7. I have never changed the strength. Yeah, I just keep it on the same value most of the time, and then I just, yeah, tap it. Tapping can be a problem because sometimes Blender just crashes doing that if you do it too quickly. But usually, it works quite well. This way I can still control the strength at which I smooth, but I don't need to tweak my scope, my smoothness the entire time, or the strength of the smoothness, or the smooth brush. I'm finding the words as I speak them. I can't focus on two things at the same time. We're back at the brain can only, spending your brain resources on stuff. We're back. I can only spend so much on speaking and sculpting at the same time. The one nose will probably look kind of weird, but that's just how it is, I guess. Let's make it a little bit pointier. There you go. Okay, yeah, that looks weird. Why does it look so weird? Tell me, why? Why do you look weird? Oh no. I'm gonna just leave it there. I think sometimes the front view just looks weird because of the matte cap. Sometimes the matte cap just makes it look weird. Maybe it's the nose tip. I guess. I don't know. This will not look good. I can tell you that right now. Okay. Let's add some hair. I think that's the only thing we can really do now to do something to make it look a little bit better. I think it reached its end. It's gonna suffer from ugliness. But that's okay. Sometimes it just, you just have to accept your fate. Just move on and accept what you have. Sometimes that's the only thing you can do. There you go. See how much just sculpting can teach you of life. Everybody should sculpt. They would learn so much about their own life. There you go. Switch to just using default matte cap and changing the color from gray. What is the default matte cap? Do you mean the gray one? Okay, I mean, it's okay, I guess. Oh no. I must continue. Like the SpongeBob meme. I need more. I can't stop. Okay, yeah, we're gonna leave it there. I will force myself to not continue. We need it here. Okay. So let's go here. Here, somewhere over here. There you go. Oh. Okay. Pull that up there. And there we are. Invert, grab it, pull it out. Let's do a basic height. Okay. Looks very weird, but that's okay. Let's remove symmetry. Let's save it first. Sometimes it just freezes when I do that. The expression looks pretty good. Looks too stiff right now, I think. But that's all we're gonna be able to do here. Right now, if your expression looks stiff, usually what it is that there are more muscles than more muscles you need to add to make it look more dynamic, I guess you could say. Or you just need to kind of fine-tune the expression itself. There's so much that moves in the face that what usually happens is when you create characters that look stiff, is something, for example, if I would smile, like if I would smile stiffly, you could say, it would look like this. But if you would smile, you know, with if you would have like an actual smile, it would look more, I guess, it would activate the entire face. So for example, you can see the cheeks move the sort of, I guess, flesh or whatever, the muscles or the fat up, which would mean that the eyes kind of close a little bit. You can see the lower lid goes higher. And that's, for example, why you can see, if you only can see the eyes, you can still see that somebody smiles, because the eyes basically smile too. Stuff like that basically adds a lot of, I guess, more realism and makes the expression look more alive. And I think that's something we could improve in this, but I'm not going to do that because that takes so long. Okay, I need to use my clay brush, otherwise this will not end well. Put it somewhere over here. There you go. Look at that. Perfect hair. Flawless. Already realistic. Almost. Did you just pull that ear out? No mask required? No, I used a mask to to create the shape, and then I pulled it out. Nothing, no magic. No magic required. You don't need to learn the arts of the dark craft to be able to create ears without adding a separate object. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just adding a few brush strokes here, okay? Don't expect too much. It looks like horrible stuff. Oh no. Okay, let's see. As I said before, speed does not equal good or quality, okay? So don't don't rush your sculpts. I think it's time for some layering, otherwise this will not look good. See how we can very quickly create some nice hair strands just using the clay strips brush? That's what it is there for. It will still not look good because we need to do some more changes. There you go, that's what I'm looking for. Wait. There it is, okay. Look at that. If you ever want to sculpt hair, snake hook brush, with linear fall off is your your key. Maybe sometimes this looks weird, but sometimes it adds some cool hair strands to the entire thing. You can see how we can create some 3D-ism. There are a few more techniques that you can use for hair, but this one is a pretty simple one. You just have to have a certain angle to pull it out in a certain direction, and then you can just do this. You can make them even pretty big, because that's more generally for bigger shapes, which means once I have these hair strands sort of sculpted in, I can now pull them out to give them the proper shape they need. You see that it still retains the stripes that we had before. I just pull them in a different direction, basically. Or I extend them and make them 3D. And that can lead to some pretty good results. Of course, the problem sometimes can be if you push everything sort of in weird directions. Retopology might be a problem if you do it manually, but I don't plan on doing that for this one, so not a big deal. It do be looking good. It's getting better. It's getting there, slowly but surely. I think the face still looks kind of weird, but maybe we can do a few more things. Maybe we can play around with the perspective for the camera. Do some heebie-jeebies there to make it look a little bit better. I think there's more weight that we need here on the side. That's better. Yeah. Maybe we can pull it higher too. A little bit, there you go. Okay. We need some more on the other side now. And then we're good. Okay. Do some more here. Good old anime hair, very, very spiky. In these big strands. Perfect, just like Naruto. Perfect. That should be good. That should be good enough. Okay, let's go back to the face real quick. There are a few things that I want to adjust. First of all, we need to add some more expression into the face. For example, for the nose. The nose looks kind of weird. Usually if you do like a very intense face, you tend to pull your nostrils up. So you can pull those up, which also means that there's like a clumping up here. Like this. Just because when you move a certain part of your body, it kind of pushes everything above it higher, which means it bunches up and creates the like this sort of... Oh, I removed symmetry, right? Well, that's bad. Well, but shouldn't be too bad though. So that's why we kind of have this bunching here. Which also happens if you smile, for example. If you do this, you can see how we have these very clear lines here. Just because, if you push everything up, there has to be a fold that gets created, I guess you could say. Okay. See, now it's better than before at least. We can maybe go into the eyes a little bit. There you go. Save it first. Then we can maybe move the lower eye a little bit higher to make it look more aggressive or more focused. I kind of want to pull... Oh. Let's pull the eyes a little bit lower here. Okay. I don't really know what the mouth should do. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe we need to pull this a little bit higher too. Usually you have muscles for your face. You don't have muscles in the middle. You have muscles that go up here. You have some that go there, here too. Same here. You don't really have some in the middle, except maybe for the muscles that are here at the bottom. At least at the top you don't have some in the middle, which means your face usually, if you try to pull it apart with your own muscles, you kind of have this shape. This sort of like this. That's usually what it looks like. Also, if you usually pull your face back, the lips get pushed onto the teeth, which means they get thinner. So I need to keep them pretty close to the teeth. Okay, I think we're in a good spot here. It's not perfect yet, but better than before. I don't know if we need to pull it forward or backwards. I don't know. I can't really do that expression. I don't know what you would do for it. Okay. Let me do something small here. We can probably just refine the eyebrow. Oh, we should probably add some eyebrows. I think that would be pretty good. Good old anime hair. Still don't feel comfortable with noses. They always look weird when I look at them or when I sculpt them. Noses are very weird. Usually what I do is I just have a certain style that I go for, or I have a certain, I guess, default that I create first, and then to create variations of that, I guess, so I create my default nose first, and then I guess change some proportions basically. So for example, you could make the nose tip bigger, you can make it wider, you can make it smaller, you can make it thinner, you can make the nostrils wider, you can make them rounder, you can make them pointier, whatever you want to do. Oh, there you go, that looks better. It's crazy how weird people look without eyebrows. But now it looks better. Let me see if I can change a few more things here and there, and then we're good. Okay. I kind of like the hair actually. I don't know why. Doesn't look perfect, but it does what it's supposed to. Okay. You know what? If we're already here, why don't we add some asymmetry? That is also very important, or very good when you want to make a character look more realistic. Asymmetry is in every face, in everything you do, even if you move. Well, maybe not the eyes. So adding a little bit can help there too. Doesn't have to be a lot. See how small changes can do a lot in the face. Okay. I think that's okay. Maybe we can do this too. There you go. Okay. His muzzle kind of long. What's his muzzle? Do you mean his chin? Or his nose? Yeah, his nose is pretty long, but that's a characteristic, I guess, of him. Of his. Maybe they're good. Sometimes we underestimate our competences. But I think there's a certain level of comfortability that you reach. And once you reach that, I think you kind of feel a little bit better about your own sculpts. So Oh, we don't need a sphere. Let's add normal spheres. I think, yeah, I think that's something you reach at some point. Basically, you get comfortable sculpting or drawing or whatever, doing something. And I think at that stage, you kind of like what you create. Because you know, otherwise you wouldn't be comfortable doing it. Otherwise you would always be sort of dreading doing it because you don't know if it's going to look good in the end. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's my theory. Okay. Let's, oh, we need the light though. Okay. There you go. It's not long, it's stylized. Okay. Collection, and there's the light. Perfect. Well, that's a lot of light, but that's perfect. Let's see if we can make it look more dramatic. So we can make it look like there's a lot of thunder around. Let me see if we're in the right... Why does it look so weird? Did I go to... Oh, there you go. Okay. So, first of all, we need to remove all light, as always. There you go. Next up, we need to change the background. We're going to do that later. Okay. Okay. This one, I want to make a strong light on the side. I'm going to put it to the side. Somewhere over here, maybe. No, I want to have light coming from the back. That is pretty strong, more like here. But I also want to have light coming from up top. Somewhere over here. That's probably pretty cool. So the left side can be pretty dark. And then the right side has a lot of light. This one is a rim light. Perfect. This one will be here on this side. Maybe even smaller so that the shadow or the light being cast onto the face is sharper. If you want to have very sharp shadows, you need to make the light source very small. That's why the sun, for example, in the space station always has sharp shadows, just because the sun is very small, which means the shadows are very sharp. The shadows get blurry basically because there are different directions at which the light kind of reaches the object that creates the shadow, which makes the shadow sort of create a light gradient, I guess you could say. The more light is visible behind the object, or yeah, you know, if you want to know more about it, I guess. It's, I don't know how to explain that actually. It's kind of weird, but it's like the more light can wrap around the object, or the object, the more the blurrier it is. Why is it so bright? Oh, there you go. Okay. This one is the color. Which color should that be? Maybe something like bluish, dark blue, like this. Maybe that could be cool. Put that somewhere over here, and then we have the another light. We don't need this one, I think. We have this one too, which is this one. What is this? We don't need this one too. Okay, then we use this one. Maybe make it sharper. Let's see. There you go. Is this guy gonna be the base of the Halloween character? Nope. This is just a quick sketch. The good old daily quick sketch that we do in the first hour or so for the stream. We're gonna go back to the Ghost Rider once we're done with this one, which should be in a few minutes. Okay. There you go. Make a new material here. Emission. Make it 5. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, let's keep it there. Let's change the background. Where's my color? There it is. And there it is. Okay, I think we're ready. Oh, we need to add one more thing, which is the material. Grab the material. There it is. Perfect. Okay. There it is. Oh, of course, we can't see it in this view. Okay. The teeth. Do I want to see the teeth a little bit better? I think that's pretty cool. We can still see the teeth. It looked kind of like he has an open mouth before, which looked weird, but I think this is pretty good. Let's see, we can probably add the depth of field too, and then we're done. He looks like Nero. Who's Nero? Sounds like someone I should know, but I don't. I can't remember who that is again. I'm sorry. I'm not with the kids these days. Okay. What I prefer is when an artist adds a personal signature in the reproduction. Is perfect in its own way and recreate a piece. Do you mean when they recreate something and then add their own touch to it? Like their own style, I guess you mean? So to make it theirs and not just a copy of the original? Okay. Perfect. There it is. It's not crazy, but it's better than nothing. Render it. Time for water. From Devil May Cry. I thought about Devil May Cry when I read that name. Is that the protagonist, the red dude, or is that the blue dude? Oh, I have to show you something from the my biggest inspiration. Let me show you something really crazy. So there it is. Look at this. So okay, so you need to guess, okay? Is this CG or is this real? What do you think? Is this CG or is it real? Is this there's a render or is it like an actual figurine? Because I was very surprised when I scrolled further down. When I scrolled further down, Unreal. Well, that's basically CG, computer generated. Look at these pores. Look at these eyes. Look at the hair. Kind of looks like hair particles. I can imagine this character with blue lighting. So when I scrolled further down, you can see what it is. Well, you can probably see it here too. But that's the other version. So this one is with silicone and this one's with polystone, whatever that is. So this is a figurine with hair, I guess, plugged into it. So this is real too. That's the other version. And I was like, wait, what? That's real? I thought that was a render. But it's actually just a figurine. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy today's technology. Look at this. This looks like a one-to-one render. Maybe, I mean, maybe this is a render. Maybe it's just like a representation of what it will look like in the end, but it looks pretty real. Yeah, maybe the print isn't as detailed, maybe. But then why would you have the comparison between the two? You wouldn't have a sculpt with the hair added, right? I would guess so. I don't know. Virgil is Dante's brother, not Nero. Virgil. Virgil. Yeah, I'm not that deep into the lore of Devil May Cry. Okay. Save the image. Let's do some post-production. $269. There you go. Okay. It's already Wednesday. We're already past the half. We're already halfway through the work week. Only 2 days left. And then it's already the weekend has already begun. And then it's Halloween on Sunday. Maybe you're somebody that likes to celebrate Halloween, or you like to dress up. Maybe you're at a party. I guess parties aren't really that common right now, but maybe. For me, it's just going to be a regular weekend. Like Friday's going to start. When? I don't really buy stuff on Black Friday. I'm not like, oh, let me find something that I wanted at some point to buy because now it's you know, now it costs less. I've never been like that. Of course, sometimes I find some stuff that I like suggested to me on Amazon, for example, on Black Friday, and then maybe I buy it, but usually I don't really buy stuff on Black Friday. Okay. Wait. Yeah. The only part I do is in front of the screen eating sweets. Yeah. Not giving them to the children, just eating them yourself. Just saying, well, nobody's ringing. Well, I'm gonna eat them myself then, I guess. What I'm actually interested about is these weird sweets that you see in the you know, the imagery, like American imagery of Halloween. These weird small orange, like thin pieces of candy or whatever that are like in these piles and piles. I don't know what they are, if they're like candy or if they're gum or whatever they are. They look pretty good, but if they're hard, I don't think I would like them. And I always wondered what they are. I've never seen them here. I always just see, like, I don't know, some sort of gummy bears in, I don't know, in a Halloween theme, like some bats or whatever. That's what we have here. Candy corn, yeah. They look like fruit yeah, true, they look like Mentos. Colored Mentos. Now the question is, are you someone that likes to chew Mentos, or are you someone that likes to I guess let them dissolve in your mouth? That's the most important question. That's the friendship ender. Oh wait, never mind. I need my tablet. Black Friday campaign is going to start Thursday for our store, and it's going to run until next month. We don't even have that many customers, but we got to work 2 12-hour shifts. I mean, yeah, kind of annoying. Water, 12 hours, yeah. Wait, what? Oh, I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, Mentos. Eating or, I mean, chewing or, I guess, licking, whatever. Dissolving. Or using water, I guess? No, that's weird. You're using water for your Mentos, you're weird. They're not pills, okay? Okay, let's not waste any time. We need to go back to the pumpkin dude, to the pumpkin ghost rider. We still have a few things to do, so let's do them today. We're gonna begin with the jacket, with the, you know, the jacket, then the gloves. Shouldn't take super long. They are not that complex. Then we can go to some more accessories like the chain, for example. Maybe even some sort of spell in his hand, we'll see. That's gonna be the plan for today. Let's remove the nasty timer. There it is. You've been oppressing me too much today. Pressuring me. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. I prefer my Mentos within a bowl of milk. Well, you know that that's wrong, okay? I don't need to tell you that. Yeah. So, 3 minutes, good old compilation, and then we're going to begin, we're going to continue working on the, we're going to start working on the clothing. So, hope you enjoy the compilation, and then, yeah, we're gonna get to that. Have fun. We back and ready. The music is ready too. You can see what we're gonna work with today. Let me find a cool song. This song is boring. Hold on, let me see. What do we have here? Ooh. Very, I wanted to say Mexican, but not really, like Spanish. Let's see, what do we have here? Something more hype. This one? No, that's boring too. Nope. 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 Come on. Give me something. Oh, this one. Hell yeah. Okay. So today, pour the milk in my mouth and scoop the Mentos from the bowl with a spoon. I mean, theoretically, you just need to pour everything in your mouth. You just need to swallow everything before it mixes together so that it can mix in your stomach. So your stomach is basically the bowl. That's the real move here. Why waste? Why waste a bowl? 12th Ocean Man. Where did you get that video to use for your transition? That's a compilation that I made, or 2 compilations for month 1 and 2 of the stream, I guess. Showing off the things that we've done in these months. I wanted to do a compilation for, like a new compilation at some point, but I haven't done it yet. So here we are. So there will probably be a 3rd one at some point. Okay, so this is the beginning of his clothing. It kind of looks like some sort of a sweater right now. It's supposed to be a leather jacket, so let's make it look more like a leather jacket. Yeah, you can see here we have 2 layers now. Do we see it? It's hard to see. Hold on. There it is. See, we have 2 layers. We have the clothing, I mean the body, and then up top we have the clothing. What I've basically done here is I've just duplicated the body, and then I have inflated it so that it's wider and it adds some thickness to the whole thing. And now we have the jacket, at the beginning at least. We still don't have the middle part, which is what we're gonna add soon. You did all that? Yes, that's what I did. I did it. Yeah. Or just melt the Mentos in a spoon with a lighter and shoot it right into the arm. I mean, into the arm, okay? Or you could make it, you could hack it small into small dust and then just sniff it. You know, that could be another way you could eat them, I guess. Yeah. Snort it, I mean, not sniff it. Okay. Yep. We need a reference. Let me just pull one up and then we can begin. So yeah, we're going to go to the jacket first, and then we're going to go to probably the gloves, and afterwards to the chain. That's going to be the plan. I need... Oh, there it is. My references. The one that I want to look at here is either this one. Hold on. Either this one, or this one. There you go. So we have one from the back and we have 2 from the front. The good one about this one is that we can kind of copy the folds that we have here. What is that? Why is there a blurry line? We can just copy we can sort of copy the folds just because it sort of has the same, I guess, pose, at least for one of them, the arms. Yeah, let's block out the general shape first. Mix it with Grandma's Vicodin for some intense taste. Sounds like some. Sounds like it's getting borderline illegal. We started with eating cereal, and now we're at using or eating Mentos like drugs, and then bringing in some actual drugs too. I'm not. I don't condone any of this. Okay. Okay, so we have the head too. I removed the head. Oh, this was a experiment. We don't need this. Hold on. We don't need this. We need this though. So yeah, we're gonna do... Let's do the middle part first, because that's kind of what is lacking right now. First of all, we're gonna just block it out, and then we can add some more detail. So the idea that I had is, as we said yesterday, I wanted to make the jacket either this way, so that it sort of looks like a leather jacket, or like a zipper basically here, or we have this thing that's kind of going over to the other side, and then there are these buttons there. I think we can combine the two by sort of copying what we have here, and layering them on top of each other a little bit, so that they still keep the layering, but still look like a leather jacket. Maybe we can do something like that, so we can kind of combine the two styles. Okay, so let's do the middle part first, because we need a I guess, color. Right now we have nothing. There you go. So this is where the neck is. I had the idea, because we can see the spine right here. What we could do is we could kind of break it open here as if it's kind of ripped in the back. And then we can kind of maybe see the, I don't know, the spine in the back maybe? That could look pretty cool. That's one idea that I had. Are you standing? Welcome. Zeder or Zetter. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed your Monday. To answer your question, yes, I am standing. I switched from sitting comfortably to standing to activate my glutes to get some movement going. I like to switch it up just to kind of, you know, I guess, you know, for ergonomics sake. Okay, so we have a beginning here. Let's kind of block out the zipper. So the idea is probably that we're gonna do it more like this. Put it all the way over here. There you go. And then we can end it somewhere over here. And then we can maybe go into the middle again. Something like this. And then there could be like a button here or something. I think that could look pretty cool. Then we have the other side that looks more like this. There you go, and then we go to the back. I wanted to make this color probably pretty high. For this one, you can see it's pretty close or pretty, what could you call it, like a pretty flat. But I think it could look pretty cool if we make it longer. Dynamic topology is disabled. Why? I need you. There you go. Yeah, we could maybe keep it up. I think that could look pretty cool. It might look weird, you know. A popped color might look weird sometimes. But it could look pretty cool here. We'll see. Just because he's wild and wacky doesn't mean he doesn't have fashion taste. I want to make him look goofy. There's this video on YouTube from, I think they're called Cut, where they, you know, they're like one of these YouTube channels where they do different challenges with different people. I guess just like random people, I guess. It seems like that, at least. Where they do like a small game with them in a group. For example, so the game that I want to refer to is the one where there's basically 5 people share the same interest, for example, and then 1 or 5 people are alike in a certain way, and then one person is the exact opposite. So, for example, we have 5 people that like Disney in this example, and then we have 1 that doesn't like them, that doesn't like Disney. And the 5 people need to figure out who the imposter is, and then they need to, I guess, get rid of them. The way they can, I guess, identify them is by, first of all, they sort of ask each other questions. They ask each other, like, hey, you know, what are your interests or whatever they want to ask to, or they just communicate. And then at some point after the round, I think after like 2 minutes or so, they're supposed to vote someone out. And at some point they can decide if they want to stop the game, and if they have voted out the imposter, then they get some money. And that's sort of the idea of the game. And in the example, or in the video, Among Us, instead of tasks, you ask questions. Exactly. I want somebody to need me. I mean, just, you know, next time Blue Eyes comes back, you can ask her. It's yeah, so one thing they talked about in that Disney episode was what is Goofy? That was something they asked. And they were discussing that the two options that they suggested was that he's a dog, which would make the most sense, but the other one was a cow. I've never thought of Goofy as being a cow. How does he look like a cow? I guess because he has a black head, maybe, but his ears don't fit. Maybe his nose fits a little bit. The argument was kind of like, well, if Goofy is a dog, why the old argument? Why is Goofy basically walking like a normal person, but then Pluto is just running like a dog, basically, or walking like a dog? Like, what's the difference between the two if they're both dogs? But a cow? Why? I would have never guessed that Goofy would be a cow. That was so weird to me. But why Pluto? Yeah, exactly. Why can Pluto not walk? So yeah, that's the question, you know? Why is Goofy? I mean, oh, the other one was somebody said he's a goof. And that was like, I don't know. That's weird. Why would they create a comic with animals as their like representative, but then invent an animal? Like, well, that doesn't make sense. I would say Goofy's a dog. That's what I always thought. I've never thought about, ooh, maybe it's not a dog because he's walking another dog. Well, maybe one of them is genetically manipulated. He came out of the lab. I wonder, are there any... I always wondered, are there any, like, for example, DuckTales? Were they ever in, like, a park and then there were other animals that sort of behaved like normal animals? Despite, you know, like Donald or all the others acting like humans? I never really paid attention to it. Because you know, you wouldn't really recognize it if you don't really pay attention to it, I guess. He's the dog too. Search Goofy trial meme on YouTube. Back at it again. Hold on. Goofy trial. Okay. That's I might watch that later. Let me put it on my watch later list. Goofy's trial animated, I guess. Okay. This doesn't seem very... doesn't seem like something I want to watch right now. Okay. Yeah, I think that can look pretty cool. Sort of the idea being that this leather patch goes over to here. And then we have maybe a button or something over here. Maybe a double zip. What are they called? Like zippers here. Although that looks kind of too rock-like. I want to make it look more rough, more brutal. So I think something more primitive, like a button, could be better. Like this, maybe. I'm gonna keep it there first. It's all just block out right now. I probably also want to add the sort of flap on the side, which would mean that we probably need... I'm just gonna sculpt it in. I've thought about making it in separate mesh, but I think it's easier to just sculpt it right here. So that's the first one. There you go. Is that an animation that covers the question whether or not he's a... what animal he is? There you go. I wonder if... what are they called again? The animation, like they were like super popular back in the day. Like, I like trains, I like cookies and all that stuff. ASDF movie or whatever. I wonder if they still make videos or animations. I remember watching them all the time. Back in school, always referencing them. I like trains. Train annihilating the child, the kid. I like turtles. They were pretty stupid, but they were funny as a kid. And then we have the other one. I think I want to... Let's see what it looks like if we pull it up. Let's pull up right here. Of course, we cannot use symmetry because we already have an asymmetrical body. There you go. Let's add the flap here. Although the flap will probably just kind of point upwards like this. I think that can look pretty cool if we add some more details. Mr. Noggy forgot my name. Welcome back, Manika or Manika. Wait. What do you mean I forgot your name? Did you just joined, didn't you? Don't troll me like this. How dare you? Welcome back, Manika. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday. Maybe you're already excited for Friday. Might be more than 24 hours away, but it's pretty close if you think about it. Christmas is also pretty close if you think about it. But only if you think about it. It's gonna be even quicker if you don't think about it. Okay. I think we can keep it there first. Let's add some more stuff. So what I really like about this one here is the... Not this one, hold on. Where is it? Wait, did I not import it? There it is. What I like about this one is the sort of top part here. This sort of... I don't know what you would call that. Like this knitted, not knitted, but this sort of... this patch up here. It kind of adds a certain protection or like sort of, I don't know, it just looks very cool. So I want to add that to this one here too. Maybe just a little bit, maybe just on both sides. We'll see. Which means we probably need to pull this a little bit further forward. Last time you criticized my artwork, you forgot my name. Wait. Wasn't that... Yeah, it's Passion, right? See, I know the other one, but I forgot this one. I forgot your YouTube name. I'm sorry. You know, remembering one name is already hard enough. Now you're giving me two. That's on your then. On you. How am I supposed to know two? You're just trying to make it harder for me. See, for example, for Hustler. Well, Hustler doesn't really have a real, I guess, a real Discord name. He just has a troll name. That's why I just call it Hustler. Him, not it. Or them, I guess. I forgive you. Just watched Goofy's trial 2 times in a row. It is a special kind of cold today. Do you mean the clown or do you just mean it in itself, like today? It's not pretty cold right now for me or where I live. It's pretty warm still. It's not like I need to wear like a sweater or whatever. Which is always the worst part. And then also because it gets dark very quickly. That's the worst part about the winter. Just darkness. 20, like 3/4 of the day. It's just darkness. Do not Google name redacted 20. You will see some old rule 34 of mine. Now you're just trying to bait me. I see through your schemes. Is it 3D? No, you said it was 2D, right? Okay, so let's add some more here. Let's, so what I want to do now is basically, now that we have the general shape, I want to add some more, I guess, okay, let's go to the fold first. I think the folds are more important. Then after the folds, I want to add some seam lines, because these seam lines will really make this look more like some extra, like actual clothing. Right now it looks more like, I guess, I don't even know, like some sort of mass without real shapes. But once we add the seam lines, I think it'll look really good. Yeah. Today, yeah. For me, it's still pretty warm. Oh. The shameful art that paid for my builds for a month. Ooh. Okay. Why did you stop? Why did you stop doing it? You had to do more research than you could work? Is that why you stopped? So when I do folds, they're not going to be 100% correct. I don't really want them to be 100% correct. What I'm kind of looking for is or how I sort of place them right now. What I mean by that is I want them to look realistic, but I haven't worked on them or haven't studied them long enough to make them 100% correct. The way that I think about fold is basically squash and stretch or volume shifts. If you push volume or any material together, they will create waves because they need to, if they can't push further together because there's nothing to push into or there's no free room to push, they go up or down. So which means for folds get created because, for example, if you pull up your sleeve or you pull up your sleeve, you push that volume or that fabric upwards, and because there's already so much here on your upper arm, it basically creates folds because it needs to go somewhere, which means it creates these these bumps or whatever, these folds. That's also why your brain has so much surface, such a huge surface I guess size, because it has all these ridges and all these folds. These folds make the brain way more effective than it would be if it would be smooth. That's why smooth brain means dumb, which means you don't have that many ridges, which means your brain isn't as capable, I guess, than other brains. Just the rule 34 was about which character? I'm curious. Rule 34 does not have a certain character. It can be whatever you want. Just ask Hustler and he'll make you some new art. If it's not existing yet. Yeah, so it's either getting pushed together, so it creates folds, or it stretches. It stretches, which means if it stretches, it's very smooth, or it follows the shape underneath. Which means, for example, for this elbow, there are no folds going like over here, just because the elbow stretches out the fabric, which means we don't have a lot of volume here, but we have a lot bunching up here in the middle for the bicep area here. That's why I've added some folds right here, but then spread out because the volume gets pushed together from different directions. Winter in New England is no joke. Yeah, probably because it's pretty moist there, right? It gets pretty cold pretty quickly. Do you have a lot of fog too? I can imagine, especially when it's very foggy. Oftentimes you can have a lot of, like, it's getting cold very quickly. That's why what I always hated when I went to school. when it was it can be cold. It's not too bad when it's cold and I use my, or I ride my bike to school. But when it was foggy and it was cold, that was hell. That's the worst. Then you just wanna die. Especially your ears want to die then. You feel like your ears are just non-existent anymore. All you can think about is, oh, so this is what it feels like when you get what is it called again? Frostbite? When your ears fall off. The fog was pretty low yesterday. It's actually pretty rare for us to have fog. We don't really have that many big waters near us. Or any swamps or whatever. Not really that much grass either. Or like, I guess, big fields of grass. So if you have volume or fabric bunching up, what happens is that you have the main source, or where it's sort of bunching up the most, and then it spreads out like a star into the different directions where it pulls the volume from. That's why you oftentimes, for example, for this one, you have this sort of, I guess, source here, and then it spreads out into all the directions. That's what the fabric, or what folds sort of look like. Not all of them, but that's the most common one, I would say. Or the easiest one to sculpt, at least. Maybe this one's not right. I'm not live on Twitch? Hold on, let me see. I should be. Is it not showing up on Twitch? It looks like... Oh, well... I don't know, maybe not. I should be. I have not changed the thing. Okay. Of course, the most complicated thing is when you have two folds colliding. That's the most annoying part, because then you have to kind of figure out what happens there. And that's where you really need to study cloth and what it does in certain parts. Or it's, you know, studying cloth is similar to, I guess, what is it called? Anatomy. In the sense that anatomy is basically, or at least from my experience, sort of learning different positions for the muscles and how they deform in that position. And then you can, once you've practiced enough anatomy, I guess, positions, you can kind of, like interpolation, kind of think what the in-between movement is. So if you, for example, if you know what the muscle or your biceps, for example, looks like when it's like this, if you know that, and then if you know how it looks like when it's like this, then you probably also know what it looks like when it's like this. And this way, the more you do, the more you practice the anatomy, the more the more you can, I guess, sculpt more different poses. And that's the same for cloth. The more you know different deformations or the way cloth can deform, the more you can kind of interpret for yourself. And then you have also these very, very small cloth wrinkles, which are kind of weird and kind of just very, very small deformations, which, you know, also exist, but I didn't really go into them so far yet. I only really looked into big folds. Biochi, one of the best artists out there. He really knows his anatomy. Yeah, oftentimes what of course you can also do is grab like what are they, the drawing figures that you can pose in different, you know, poses, these wood things, these wood figurines that you can pose in different, you know, whatever you want. Those are also very good for references. If you, for example, don't have your like a reference on your side right now. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's a good start. Let's go to let's see. Should we add a few more here? Probably. Okay. Let's go and add some seam lines now. What I like to do is I like to just increase the pinch maybe to 7.5 and then maybe increase the strength. This is still just the block out, so I don't want to make it too perfect. I just want to block out the overall shapes. Refining is the next step. There you go. That's the first one. We have 2 already here. They're pretty big, but I think that's okay. There you go. Yeah, anatomy is always something that nobody likes anatomy, but you know, it's kind of something you have to learn because it'll make your images look better. Okay. Perfect. Let's add some more accessories. So one thing that I like about this sculpt here, I mean this image, is first of all, oh, let's go to the end of actually, we don't really need to add it. We still need to add the gloves. What I want to do first though is I want to add this bag thing here. I like that a lot. Maybe we can move this a little bit further forward here. Because he's kind of leaning forward anyway. So it probably makes sense to push it further forward. Right here. Channeling the energy coming out of his body. Carrying the pumpkin head. I love anatomy in the human body. I'm just too dumb to understand and reproduce it. Well, yeah, you know, practice makes perfect, I guess, in that instance. Nothing really you can do except practice. Okay, how far down should I go? Maybe all the way to there. Pull it up and then pull it down again. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to go into shading. No matter how far we are in the modeling process, tomorrow we will 100% go into shading. We have at least the most important pieces that we can shade. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to start probably with the jacket, which shouldn't be too hard just because we can just, I guess, use a shader that I already created for the Reaper figurine. And then we can create some more, for example, for the pumpkin. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Badass. I actually don't like it here in the back. Maybe we can, maybe it's, I think I like it more when it's just on the shoulders. So let's just cut off some of the volume here, maybe all the way to there. That's probably enough. We're gonna flatten the whole thing again. The part we've extended, but I don't want to use. There you go. Yeah, the next feedback session will probably be on next Friday. We already have a few submissions. If you want to get some feedback on your own pieces, you want to get some personalized feedback on your own artworks, then join the Discord. Exclamation. Oh wait, that doesn't work, right? Well, okay. Exclamation mark Discord doesn't work. But let me just make a new link. Never. Yep. You can join the Discord. Here's the link to get into the next feedback session, where I will give you, as I said, 3 times now, personal feedback on your own pieces, on your own art piece. Keep in mind that if you post multiple, that I can only, I usually try to spend as much time, or I try to spend the same amount of time on all the pieces, which means if you post multiple pieces, I can only, focus on each one of them so much. For example, last time we had 20 minutes for each, because we had so many. And if we only have 20 minutes and you post maybe 3 or so, I can only, spend so many minutes on each one. But if you only post 1, then I can spend all the 20 minutes on just one piece. So you can decide which one you want to do more. You want to get more volume or more quality, basically. Or you can also ask questions in Discord if you have any. We had a pretty interesting question that Lego answered. I didn't even know what that was, like knife project with multiple objects. I think I heard of that before recently, but I've never used it before. Okay, that's better, definitely. Let me change the shape a little bit. Okay. Okay. Let's do something for the front. The front looks kind of boring right now. We have some different parts here. On this one, you can see we have some more interesting stuff here. First of all, of course, some folds we can add. I think one interesting one we can add very easily is this button right here. Usually buttons create some stretching because they hold something in place where it doesn't want to be. So it creates some stretching there. Just like this. Oh. There you go. Okay. And then we can probably add some more accessories here. The chain we can maybe add here too. But I think the chain would... Yeah, the chain will be around his body. Then he's going to hold it in his left hand. And then we also have some sort of spell in his right hand. I'm going to go in here and add some smaller details here. Just block them out first, of course. And then we can go to the gloves. The gloves are still, you know, we haven't added them yet. So we need to do that. Okay. What's okay? What do you mean, okay? Okay, I kind of want to see what it looks like if we just rip the t-shirt open right here, or not the t-shirt, the jacket. Let's see what that looks like. So we're probably gonna make a mask here, make it look kind of ripped open here, like this. There you go. I'm kind of curious what it would look like. Invert. Remove. I saved before, so I don't lose this if I don't think it looks good. Maybe not all of it. Maybe we need to begin somewhere here. Oh. Okay. It might look very deep. Maybe we can push the clothing further into the middle. Or into close to his, you know, his spine. That might solve it. Maybe we can also add some threads here, spanning over from one side to the other. Let's see. There you go. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the next batch of fresh new emotes. I mean emojis on WhatsApp. every time they release new ones, I always look through them and see if they're any useful. Most of them they just release some weird ones that nobody will ever use. But sometimes, you know, I think the best one they've ever added is the thinking one. The thinking one is still my favorite. The worst one is or the one that they made horrible is the one where he kind of looks to the right and smiles a little bit, like smirks. I think they changed that one, made it look weirder. I think the worst, you know, they make good emojis, but they make them like I don't think they really represent what they're supposed to represent when you look at the actual names of them. Usually you think of like some emojis are like, I don't know, crying or whatever, or being in fear or fearing something, but then they don't really look like that at all, which is kind of weird. WhatsApp emotes are whack? Nah. Just Google GIFs, that takes way too long. You can also just use GIFs in WhatsApp itself. You don't need to Google them. What are you doing? Are you sending links every time you want to post a GIF? You can just post them right straight out of WhatsApp. Mine are better. What? Your GIFs? I mean, GIFs are better than emotes, but it doesn't mean that emotes are bad. It doesn't mean that emotes don't serve a purpose. I don't want to look up GIFs every time I want to send a message, where I want to have some sort of emotion conveyed. I need emotes. True, emotes are life. Emotes is how you communicate effectively. There you go. Add some more detail to this crack right here. Right now it kind of looks weird. Looks just very, very clean, and that's not really what it's supposed to look like. Maybe right now it looks more like some sort of stone that has been cracked. But, well, at least it's better than nothing, I guess. Okay. My meme folder has reactions for every situation. Dude, that's actually something that I wanted to do. I at some point, but when I was still using 9gag, I would occasionally find some you know, some weird funny images, and I would save them in like a meme folder. And my idea was basically that for everything, like for every reaction, I would have a meme that I could post. But I stopped that pretty quickly. Sounds like you didn't. Sounds like you're the meme master now. Sounds like you have everything that you need. Do you have one for, I don't know, fearing that your drawing tablet pen might be broken because you dropped it? Do you have one for that? Okay, I want to add some more like rough spots. You can see here I've added this sort of scratch just to kind of make it rougher and, you know, more interesting. I think that can really enhance the look because it's supposed to look very, very brutal and less clean. I think right now it looks too clean. Yes, I am a virgin lord. Nice. Okay, but I think we need to go to the... Oh, wait. One thing that I want to add here is something for the color. And the color should have like this band around it. The meme from the movie of the guy sweating profusely with his headphones on. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Did you just actually look through your meme collection and see if you actually have one? I actually have a meme collection on Pinterest, but you can't see it because it's hidden. It's called Funny Stuff. I think there are like 4 videos in there. Occasionally, Pinterest likes to give me some funny memes or some funny videos. That's why I have that playlist. You know, it's not just epic dragons and mermaids and I don't know, crazy demons. Sometimes you have just funny videos. I know them all from the top of my head. Did you rename them so that you can just look up a certain word? Like, you know, you basically created like a structure. So you have meme, sad, boy, pencil. You added tags to everyone, so you can just quickly find the one that you're looking for. Are you that much of a nerd? Okay. Let's create the gloves. I'm going to show you what I want to do for the gloves. It's hopefully pretty simple. So the problem is, the problem that I kind of thought how I could solve it is for the fingers, especially for the right one. You can see that it is it's closed, but the geometry is still there in the middle. Which means if we do that for the gloves too, it is hard to really just make them thicker and make them look right. Because, yeah, it'll just kind of look weird. Because it will all clip into each other and it'll just kind of look weird. So I was kind of thinking about how you could make it look, you know, a little bit more clean, more realistic, I guess you could say. I think there's a pretty simple solution to that, actually. The way I'm going to do it is, first of all, we need to add the gloves. So we will just, yeah, duplicate the sculpt again. And then we need to separate everything, or we need to remove everything except for the hands, which can take a while, but I am okay with that. Jacket. We have the gloves. Then we have the body. Okay, so what I want to do is I will go in here and I will use the Boolean tool. We will just use the Boolean tool. We could also do that in the scope mode itself, but the scope mode takes quite a while to calculate. So I think it's easier to use the Boolean modifier. I wanted to categorize them once, but one meme can be used for multiple emotions reactions, and I don't want to have duplicates. I just go for the thumbnail in my gallery. I have a collection of random memes that I think vary in quality. Yeah, that's why I have given up pretty quickly. But, I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter if they can serve multiple purposes, you know? If they serve multiple purposes and you have added tags to them, you can just look for them. You can just look for sad and then you find the one that you need. So I actually have a Boolean add-on enabled. The problem with that one though is that it... Wait, let's see if that's actually true. So the add-on, what it does is it basically... hold on. It just makes the Boolean operation quicker. What I mean with that is you don't need a... If you would just want to remove a certain part of the scope, for example, you can just select both objects. The one that is supposed to remove the area of the scope that needs to be removed, and then you select the scope itself. And then you can press Shift, Alt, and B, I think, to pull up the Boolean add-on menu. And then you can say that it's in which way it's supposed to use or apply the Boolean. That's basically how it works. And the problem with that though is that sometimes I want to keep my Boolean modifier. because I want to fine tune it. Or sometimes the problem, for example, with a Boolean modifier is that it just completely removes the mesh for some reason, or it just joins the two together instead of removing them for some reason. And to kind of avoid these problems, I'd like to just I like to still keep the modifier. And what I want to know right now is whether or not I actually keep the modifier when or if there's an option to keep the modifier. So now we've covered the entire thing almost. There you go, everything's gone. Except for the hands that I want to keep. Hold on. There you go. So now what I want to do is I want to select this one, then the sculpt, press shift. Hold on. There you go. Shift, Control, Alt, B, if I remember. Nope. What about Shift, Control, B? Yep, there it is. The Bool tool. That is a standard Blender add-on that you can just enable by going to the add-ons and looking for it. And then you can say Auto Boolean or Brush Boolean. What is this one? This operator adds a union brush to a canvas. Yeah, so you can either automatically use a Boolean and then also apply it, but I want to keep the modifier so I can fine tune it if we need to. So I'm just going to go in here and apply one. There you go. And then I use this object. Let's use fast first, because fast sometimes gives me better results. And this looks pretty good. And so you can see how fast it was. If I would do that in the scope mode, it would take quite a long time. That's why I want to avoid using it. There you go. Now we can now remove it. Location. Nope. What? X. There you go. Oh. Of course I need to apply it first. There you go. And then we can go back to sculpting. We need to fix this face here because it's just a single face, if I see that correctly. No, it's actually not. But I still want to change the geometry here. So we just enable dynamic topology. And use simplify. Perfect. Do the same here. And perfect. Okay. And then we go back to sculpting and we do inflate. We use the inflate operation here with the mesh filter, because this needs to be thicker than the original hand. There you go. That's the original. Then we need to inflate it. There you go. So now it's a little bit bigger. It doesn't need to be super much more thicker than the original fingers, just maybe like this. And then the problem is, you can see right here, it is sort of clipping all over the place. So there's one thing that I want to try to avoid that. Because this is also a nightmare to then sculpt stuff like folds into it, because you kind of affect some areas that you don't want to. And if you merge them all together, it might work better. So what I want to do, I want to see if that actually works. We talked yesterday about it, which is the remesh. No, the detail flood fill option right here, if you enable dynamic topology. What that does is it looks at the geometry and sees where there's less or more geometry, and then it subtracts or simplifies that geometry so that it basically has 20 resolution. And what that sometimes does is it removes geometry that is, I guess, merged into each other. So clipped into each other like this. Let's see if that works here. So I want to basically now, if I enable or if I use detail flood fill, what is supposed to happen is that it's supposed to fill these gaps and just make it one mesh. Let's see if that actually is true. I don't know, maybe. I think so. Yeah, I think so. It creates some holes though. That's the problem. We can also do something else. We can just remesh it. That should also do the trick. So if you go to the remesher, let's try that then. Because the remesher really only looks at the volume and then tries to recreate that with new geometry. This way we can create this nice glove, basically, where there's no hole in the middle. There you go, see? Now everything is nice and merged together. We don't really need these holes anymore, these creases. We can still add them if we need to, but I want to have everything merged together. Perfect. So let's add that, apply it, and then we can create the gloves. We need to bring back the jacket though. What I want to do is I want to put the gloves over the jacket. That's the idea. For this one, for the Ghost Rider, that's not the case, but I want to do it for this, for the pumpkin dude. We need a name for him. Pumpkinio. The punk pumpkin. Okay. Let's see if that actually works. So what if we just go in here and apply, no, select all this. The punk pin. That's kind of weird. Punk pin? Wouldn't it be pumpkin? The pumpkin? That's kind of hard to say. King Punk? I need to make a small gradient here because I need to push it further out. I can probably also remove some of this sleeve here, but there still needs to be some thickness because it lays on top of each other. Okay, we need to invert it, and then we can use the inflate operation. Wait, we need to do the same here too. Maybe the Punker King. No, Pumper. I'm not good with names. You already know that. Okay, now. There it is. I think that's enough. We don't need to go too far. We're going to smooth it here in the end. Maybe here we can do a little bit more. Okay. Oh wait, is dynamic topology enabled? Nope, of course not. Why would it? Why would it ever be disabled? I mean, enabled. Okay. There you go. Okay. Might look kind of weird. Let's see if it looks weird. If it looks weird, we can just remove the part here in the back, and then we can just use the jacket as the original sort of first, I guess, top layer, whatever you want to call it. There you go. If you have any accessory ideas we could add to them, always give them to me. You know, like some spikes or whatever. Maybe not spikes, maybe something more Halloween themed. That could probably be pretty cool. Right now it kind of looks, or at least the jacket looks pretty, not basic, but not customized yet. Not too scary. Maybe some sort of pumpkin buttons. Or bad buttons. Spider. There you go. Perfect. Okay, that's the glove. We can of course add some more detail to that too. But we're still in the blockout phase, so I kind of want to focus more on the general stuff. Because once we have the general stuff, details really only make the make the character look more HD, I guess you could say. Which isn't the main goal right now. It's more about setting a certain look, or creating a certain look. I think now I have I think I have now over 24 hours of music in my playlist. You know what? I think I should, next time I should just remove the random. I just make it not random, because then we will always have new music. I think sometimes we hear the same song twice. And if we, you know, randomize it, we'll not hear it twice. We always have a different flavor. Yeah, I guess the only problem would be then sometimes we might have the same sort of style, I guess, over and over and over again. But maybe not. Maybe not. That could be a thing thing to try. There you go. So I think what we can do for the gloves would be to add these knuckle metals here, the metal thingies. I think I want to go to 50 now, because otherwise we don't really have that much detail. We can't really add too much detail, especially for these hands. We have the same problem that we had before. Hands need quite a lot of detail. Okay, so let's add maybe some sort of metal here, or some sort of knuckle, what are they called, like knuckle guards or knuckle dusters. No, those are these metal things that you can put on your hands, right? The rings. Well, that's an interesting song. Never heard that before. So much new to explore. Okay, there you go. Do the same on the other side. You know what I never understood? So there are two, not colleagues, but I guess acquaintances sounds weird, like two people that I hang out sometimes with. And they do the same, they study the same thing in university. I think it's like biochemistry. And what my friend told me is that one of them actually wanted to do that. And the other one just said, well, I don't really know what I want to do, so I'm just going to do what you do. That sounds so weird to me. Like, why would you do something that others want to do? Why, why would you go why would you go study something that you may not really be interested in, but maybe you like it at some point, so you just do it because your friend does it? I guess I can kind of see it, because then you can, you don't want to lose contact maybe, or you just want to hang out with somebody, or you still want to basically be in school with your friends, so you extend that by going to the same university and studying the same thing, I guess, maybe. But then, that's really the only thing you really get out of it, I guess. Maybe if you're lucky, you kind of learn to like that thing that you study. But I think more often than not, you actually just don't. I think you just, you realize, well, I've kind of wasted all that time just kind of trying to recapture, I guess, school or whatever. Not knowing what I wanted to do, so now I'm kind of, I still don't do what I want to do. I have this degree, but I don't want to use it because I don't like the job. Maybe you even, cancel the university because you realize you don't like it. I get it. I kind of did the same with my high school diploma. Got a vet tech degree because I didn't know where to go, so I just followed a friend. Yeah, it's mostly having no idea what to do with your future, so you do from place to place until something clicks. Yeah, I guess it's just exploring different options. Honestly, I'm like halfway between going back and not going back to school. Well, I want to stay as far away from school as possible. I had 12 years of high school, and then 3 more years for my I guess what would you call that, like the apprenticeship, and I didn't like both. I'm not really someone that likes to go to school at all, so I would like to stay as far away as I can. But some people like school. I don't know, I just like learning by myself. Might not be as effective, but at least I can do it however I want, while working what I like to work in. At least that's my position right now. You know, some people might be different there, but I'm pretty lucky in that case. In that, you know, instance. Yeah, I always consider myself very lucky in that I already, well, I think when you are creative, you very quickly find what you like to do. Because there are so many different jobs that that you can do, and usually if you're creative, you have a very, very specific hobby that you're very passionate about. You can either maybe find a way to do that as your job, or you can find a job that sort of lets you do what you like as often as possible. But I think if you're more like, maybe you play your biggest hobby is playing football or soccer or doing anything like that, I think that can be harder, just because you're probably not going to become a football or soccer pro. So like, you can't really use your hobby as your like reference to what you might want to do in the end, what you want to do, what you want to work as, you know. And you know, you could maybe become a coach, but I don't know, I think it's still hard to use these hobbies and try to find a job sort of, you know, in that, I guess, around that hobby. School should be for careers that require it, like being a medic or a lawyer, stuff you can't self-teach. Yeah, I mean, isn't that basically what you do in school? Well, you can still self-teach it, but it probably just takes longer. You know, you can also just you know, read the books. You don't really need to go to any lectures. You can just read the books and then learn by yourself. In that instance, or in that case, you know, you don't really. University doesn't need to be, well, it can be self-learning. Or no, you have to attend certain classes, right? You have to have a certain amount that you need to attend. I can't remember, or I don't know. I was never in university. And the good thing about apprenticeships is you work while learning, so you actually get some money while learning. Can't really do that with the university. Learning is good for the brain. True. But learning doesn't need to be in school. I like learning too, but I don't like learning in school. General training at everyone's place is somewhat okay, but man, I wish that I had the crash course when I had the time and energy. Hello, ma'am. I will be your doctor. Do not worry, I'm still new at this hospital, but I've read all the anatomy books at home and I know what I'm doing. I mean, well, yeah, I guess jobs with real life applications, not just theoretically, but like practically, I guess, are different, because you need to learn the technique, and they won't let you train or learn the technique if you haven't like shown that you're competent, in that you won't that you won't destroy or make big mistakes. But theoretically, you can learn everything by yourself. And when it comes to university, I guess you just have to attend certain classes, but everything else you can teach yourself. And then, you know, as long as you
don't fail the classes, you'll get your graduate at some point. And that's all that matters in the end. The small little piece of paper. So many people stressing out about the small piece of paper. Just print it out forehead. Just print it. There you go. I don't know if you ever have at least I never had the energy to learn something that I didn't want. That's the most, that's the thing I'm worst at. Learning something that I'm not interested in. I feel like some people are more, I guess, disciplined, you could say, in that sense, in that they can just say, well, I'm not really interested in this stuff at all, but I still need to do it because it'll raise my grade. So they have like an incentive for it. But for me, it's like, nah, dude. I would rather not. I don't want to clog my brain with some garbage stuff that I'm never going to use afterwards anyway. It may be different in university, but even in university, you don't have just like, you know, if you do like a medical degree, there are still other classes that you might not necessarily need when you're an actual doctor. That looks weird. There you go. Yeah, that's why, you know, coming back to it, that's why I always considered myself very lucky. Some people are still studying. Some people just maybe, you know, that it actually hit me when I finished my apprenticeship, when I was like a full, you know, when I was just working now. The next apprentice, you know, came into our into the agency and, you know, took my spot, I guess you could say. And I was just working regularly then. And it hit me at that point when he said, like, oh, now I'm gonna start my three-year apprenticeship. And then I asked, like, hey, how old are you? And he's like, well, I'm 22. Well, now 22. Like, it was 21 last year. And then it hit me, like, wait, what? He's as old as me, and he needs to do 3 years to get to the point where I am now. So I have 3 years that I can do whatever kind of, you know, gets me further in life, I guess you could say, that he needs to use to learn or to get to where I am now. That was kind of the moment where I kind of like, wait, what? That's crazy. And then this year we have a new apprentice for a different position that is also as old as I am. So it's even a year longer. Of course, you could say, well, you know, they did other stuff, so they gathered some experience there. But I don't really feel like I'm like if you're, for example, studying, or if you're in university for something and then you stop going, I don't think you really learn something useful. Maybe, but I think most of it you don't really need, because you don't want to do anything in that field anyway. So you kind of just wasted it. Maybe not wasted the time, but it's not time spent effective. Effective time sinks. It's like you now know that you don't want to do that, I guess. Which can be useful, but you know, it's different than you know what you want to do. That's why I always consider myself very lucky. Maybe at some point I realize, well, I don't want to do this creative stuff anymore. Maybe I want to be a doctor. Maybe that's that's gonna be a problem then. But you know, I don't think that's gonna happen. I was sculpting my next piece, and then I realized, why do I want to sculpt teeth if I can also form teeth for real people? And then I became a dentist. Now I'm here sitting in front of you, starting my dentist career at 36. I wonder what the longest what is it? The job is where you need to study the longest. Isn't like, I mean, of course you can just extend more and more and more. You know, you can take more and more semesters, but what is the shortest, like, the job where you need to be in university the longest to end it as quickly as possible? I would guess it would be some sort of doctor. I think I heard they can be, you know, multiple years, maybe even like 5 or so, which is pretty crazy. Maybe a lawyer. Surgeons take like 8 to 10 years. Oh my. 8 to 10 years. So you start studying at 20 and then you're done when you're 30. A decade of learning. I think I would end it right there. What I always wondered is like the mindset for people like surgeons that don't really get, or like first aid people that go to, like, that arrive at the, like, an accident first. Like, how do they think about what they see there? Because, you know, to be a surgeon, I would imagine you kind of have to be able to see a lot of, like, nasty stuff, you know, like crazy wounds or broken bones, and you have to break bones yourself to fix certain illnesses or problems. I wonder what sort of the way is someone like that thinks. when they see like one of these wounds. I don't really think they don't really, it seems like they don't really think it's disgusting, you know? Or like you can't really look at it. So what I always thought about is how do they react to like I don't know, like crazy videos about someone, I don't know, getting their head chopped off by a helicopter or whatever. do they just think, well, I guess there he goes? Or like, well, you know, they just see it as like a body and they can't really empathize with the person. I think that's what most people kind of feel when they see like a huge wound or somebody breaking the bones or whatever. You know, I think you really cringe because you can feel the pain sort of yourself. Not necessarily like actually, but you think about what it would feel like, and then you sort of, you know, you cringe or whatever. I wonder if that's the same for surgeons or whatever. I heard at some point that I think it was like the best dentists have low empathy. I heard that at some point recently. I don't know if that was true, but that's something I heard. So maybe, you know, doctors, you generally have less empathy, which means they don't necessarily think about the pain that others feel and, you know, kind of try to think what that would feel like, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they just see it like cooking, you know? Oh, well, this is just meat. Like, you know, you don't really feel for the pig when you cut your riblets. You know, you don't really think about it. You just cut them. Maybe it's like that. I had to do autopsy and cut, but only on animals, and I've seen some of those Life League videos. The level of empathy goes down and feel a bit less. It also depends on context. Sounds like fun. I guess you also sort of get more like number the more you do it, you know? You kind of you get, I guess, it gets easier and easier. In the beginning it might be hard, but the more you see stuff like that, you just get used to it, I guess. Just another day at the job. Oh, what do we have today? Hand cut off by a seesaw. Well, just a regular day at the job then, I guess. Time to tie all these sinews back together and these muscles. Imagine, must be so weird sitting in that first responder car, or not first responder, but the what do they call, like Samaritan or whatever, that go to the accident and try to treat the I guess the hurt. Sitting in that car, not knowing what you're gonna find. Like, is it gonna be horrific? Is it gonna be just like a small accident? Is it gonna be like limbs everywhere? And you know, severed body parts? Must be really, really crazy. Just, you know, being in that car and not knowing what you're gonna find. I couldn't even imagine. Just another day at the job, I think. Here we go, back at it again. How many limbs do we have to collect today? Oh, just 4? Well, that's boring. Or the people... No, wait. There are actually other people, right? That clean up. Like professional accident cleaners or whatever you want to call them. The people that clean after the police did all their investigations. Like when somebody, for example, dies or whatever. Somebody has to clean all that. You know, the blood and all that. Imagine. That must be the worst job ever. I think it's harder to be a morgue technician than a surgeon. What is a morgue technician? Morgue. Okay. What do you do as a morgue technician? A morgue technician is responsible for a wide range of duties within a morgue. What is a morgue? Hold on. Oh, okay, now I get it. From collecting bodies to assisting with autopsies, writing reports, and releasing bodies for collection. Yeah, I think all of that is sort of in the same field. Confirmed psycho. Hey, I just have a very creative, a very vivid mind. Okay. I don't want to see it, but I can think of it. Scariest job would be police officer. Yeah, you're always basically. You're always the potential corpse that the other ones will find, basically. Watch the human dissection on YouTube to get better at sculpting ones. Oh no. Oh my god. That sounds hardcore. Welcome back, James. James. I don't know why I always say your name weird. James. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday. I think the gloves are in a pretty good position. I want to do one more thing. They look kind of like gardening gloves. I want to add just one more thing to the edge here. It looks too round, more like rubber. I want to add a seam line here. That'll make it look cleaner. Or more like fabric. Actually did the exact opposite. Trust me, I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. Vivid mind, creative. Do you dream and imagine cutting people? What do you mean? Explains why you know anatomy so well. Where are the bodies, Nogi? Where are they? They're in my brain. They're all in my brain. So if I killed people in my mind, or if I think people killing people in my mind, or people dying in my mind, and I say it out loud and you think about it, does that mean you're in the same boat as me? Interesting. Found out my last name comes from Germany. Really? Doesn't sound German. This looks like mittens. I don't need this. This looks weird for some reason. There needs to be something here that makes it look badass. I don't really know what though. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't care. It might look weird, but that's okay. I've accepted weird. Makes the gloves end in a belt, like a strap on. Strap on? I think I want to keep them like this. I think they're okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Oh, we can maybe add some spikes here, maybe. I'm gonna do that with a different... Yeah, I'm gonna model them separately though. Okay. I think it's time for the chain now. We have the head. There you go. We have the... We have the jacket. We have the gloves. Let's add the chain now. So for the chain, we're gonna do a good old modifier stack. Let's create the chain first. Chain should be pretty simple. We're just gonna use a plane. Then we will cut it in half. Remove all this. Wait, nope. Only faces. So we have the edges still. Remove this edge. This. Oh. Edges. There you go. Then what I want to do, I want to use a subdivision modifier. Move all this over here. Add one more here. There you go. So that's the first part. We then need to add a skin modifier. And then another subdivision modifier. And there you go. We have a link. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. Why is there an edge here? What are you doing? How do I... Does somebody know how I move this? How do I move this to a different spot? Mark loose? No. Clear loose? No. Mark root. Oh, there it is. Aha, perfect. So that's the first part. Wait. Let me move these closer into the middle. Okay, perfect. So that's the first part. Then we need to end. Can we end it very sharply? I don't think we can we? Oh, we can. Okay. There you go. We move them all the way to the end. That is very sharp. Then what I want to do is I want to go in here, select everything, duplicate, rotate by 90 degrees on the x-axis, rotate it by 180 degrees on the z-axis, and then I want to move it over here. There you go. I probably also want to increase the skin size. do I move it again? How do I how do I scale up the Alt A, right? For some reason. Control A? There it is. Control A to change the circumference for some reason. There it is. They updated it. Their kids lived in Germany, though, before America. Okay. The oldest relatives with my last name on my ancestry family tree are Simmons, married to Mike Jans, born 1630. Oh, I don't even know who's in my family tree. Let's make this more angry. What? No, more, more extreme, more aggressive by adding these cuts here. I want to make the chain more blocky. There you go. That's what I want to do. Apparently it's from the Netherlands. Friesland. Okay. Yeah, the what was it? Simmons sounds pretty French. But apparently they don't come from, they're not from French. From French? They're not from, wait. Isn't the name for the country no, it's not French. Dude, I'm too baked. What's the wait, hold on. Oh, France, of course. It's France and not French. It's too late. My brain doesn't work anymore. Yeah, France. Not S. Not with an S. With a C. But almost. Okay, there you go. Wait. What if we remove the first subdivision level? What happens then? No, that's not good. We need it. Okay, I think that's the best we can get here. We could model it though, but I don't want to, so we're just gonna use this. Okay. Frisia? What's Frisia? Is that another name for France in a different different country? Different language? Okay, so we have one part of the chain. So now what we need to do is we need to use an array modifier. Oh. Okay, hold on. Can we rotate it? No, we can't. Well, let's duplicate this again. No, wait. Duplicate. Rotate. Bring them as close together as possible. Perfect. Alt A, merge by distance. Perfect. And there you go. We have a nice chain. We need to change something though, which is this beginning part here. We need to move them a little bit past the pivot point, otherwise they will not merge in the middle or here on this horizontal link. So by moving them a little bit past the pivot point, we can fix that. Can we? Wait. Maybe not. Let's see. No, we cannot. Well, I guess we just have to reduce. I don't want to reduce it though. There has to be a way. We need to bring this closer. The vertices right there. As close as possible. Okay, that's the closest I can get them. What we can do then is, I guess we can just change the offset. Bring it very, very slightly closer. So if we set it to 0.999, maybe 0.998. Well, how about 997? There you go, and now it's perfectly merged. Problem with that is that the more you use the more you increase the count, the closer they will merge together. Because the value is so small, it's not going to be very visible, but you know, that's the problem that I wanted to avoid, but I couldn't. I failed, I'm sorry. There you go. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to use a curve. So we're going to place it where we need it. Make it roughly the size that we need it to be. Maybe this much. I think that's a pretty good chain size. Then we need to place it. I think, do we need to place it on the... Oh, we need to, yeah, we need to set it back to location 000. We can either apply the position or just move the geometry up there. We need to use a curve. Let's use a path. There you go. So now they have the same pivot. The pivot point is in the exact same position for both of them. We can now use the... Where's my curve? There it is. Now if we use a curve modifier, we can apply the curve object, which is the curve. There you go, and now the chain follows the curve. One problem though, the longer the curve, the you can see it doesn't extend the chain, but there's a pretty simple solution to that. We go to the modifier stack and select the array modifier, set it from from fit type fixed count to fit curve. Then we use the curve. And nothing happens. Why? That's a good question. Why? Why do you do this to me? Oh, there you go. But why is it so short? Guess we have to scale it. So if we scale it, does that work? So now it's just as long, and if we move it, I guess that works. Okay. If I apply the scale now, there you go. Okay. Now we can move it over here, and we can use the curve to model the chain. So it's going to start here in his hand. It's going to clip into his hand, but that's a detail that we don't talk about. Okay. There you go. Oh. Of course, chains theoretically don't bend, but this one does, okay? This is a rubber chain. Apparently, dude. You know what? I'm just gonna set it to fixed count. Okay. So it's gonna bend around his body. You know what I wanna do? Oh, I wanna move it down first. Then I wanna move it up. I wanna move it around his arm. Right here. And then I wanna move it around his body. Okay. And then at the end, it can kind of just hang down, I guess. Right here. There you go. Let's extend the chain. Perfect. Okay. Let's adjust the curve so that it actually sits on him and not just, it doesn't just float in the air. Let me just quickly remove or reduce the subdivisions so it's easier to see or easier to work with. It's not as laggy. There you go. Okay. Move it on to his body. There's one more thing to make it even better. Right now the chain just looks kind of plain. And there's a very, very simple thing we can do to make it look a little bit more interesting. Which is rotate or twist them. We can of course twist curves and that it will also twist the chain. Twisting just kind of makes it, usually you don't really, if you hold a chain, you don't really pay attention to the rotation, I guess, of it. And if we kind of take that into account here, we can very easily make the chain just look a little bit better. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so there it is. You know what? I'm gonna pinch it here. There you go. Okay. And then we use some twisting. For example, here, maybe we can twist everything that is over here. Just add a slight rotation to make it look a little bit better. Wait, did I just twist it the other way again? I think so. Okay. Maybe a few more over here and then we're good. Perfect. And there it is. You can probably fine tune it a little bit more, but that is at least the basic. We can maybe, you know, maybe the chain could also go over his shoulder. We'll see. But now we have his main clothing. We have the chain, a small accessory. We can probably add a few more. And then tomorrow we're gonna go to the shading. That's the last part. Tomorrow's gonna be the last day where we're gonna work on this. And let's make it a good one and create some shaders for the gloves, for the jacket, for the pumpkin and all that to create the final look. Of course, I'm going to work on this off stream a little bit more just to kind of finalize everything. But this is yeah, this is the block out, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool so far. Adding a few more details, I think will make it enhance the look even more. And then in the end, we will have a pretty cool character. So, I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you want to participate in the next feedback session, that'll be on next week's Thursday. Make sure to join the Discord. ! Discord doesn't work. Let me just type the link here again. Yeah, make sure to join if you want to participate in that, if you want to get some personal feedback on your artworks. And yeah, and also receive messages when I go live, or ask questions, or you know, just chat, show your art pieces if you want, share some inspiration. Yeah, we're gonna end today's stream here. Thank you for joining, thank you for listening, thank you for chatting, watching, or just being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.